And welcome back to another episode of the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast, special instant reaction. Um, I was only gonna do the one video that's coming out soon, some point, but we just gotta get into this. Michigan, after a 9-3 season, has fired head coach Sherrone Moore for cause. Sherrone Moore allegedly had an inappropriate relationship with a staff member, and he is out as the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines in an absolute stunner with so many coaching openings that's happened. Hartline to USF, Kiffin to LSU, Summerall to Florida, Silverfield to Arkansas, Golish to Auburn. Golding is promoted. All these Pat Fitzgerald to Michigan State. Sherrone Moore is out. This is from the AP News article. Michigan fired Sherrone Moore on Wednesday after finding evidence of an inappropriate relationship with a staff member, a stunning end to a short up and down tenure that saw the Wolverines take a step back on the field after winning the national championship. This conduct constitutes a clear violation of university policy, and UM maintains zero tolerance for such behavior, Athletic Director Ward Manuel said. The announcement did not include details of the alleged relationship. Moore, who was 8-5 in his debut season, 9-3 this year, did not return a message seeking comment left by the Associated Press. The 39-year-old Moore signed a 5-year contract with a base annual salary of $5.5 million last year. According to the terms of his deal, the university will not have to buy out the remaining years of Moore's contract because he was fired for cause. College football's winningest program is suddenly looking for the third head coach of 4 years, shortly after a busy cycle that included Lane Kiffin leaving playoff-bound Ole Miss for LSU, which is now the second craziest story I've seen. Uh, Moore, the team's offensive coordinator, joined the program in 2018 and was promoted to the lead Wolverines after they won the 2024 national title to succeed Jim Harbaugh when he returned to the NFL to lead the Los Angeles Chargers. The 18th ranked Wolverines were set to play number 14 Texas on December 31st in the Citrus Bowl. Moore, in his second season, was suspended for 2 games in 2025 as part of self-imposed sanctions for NCAA violations related to a sign stealing scandal. The NCAA added a third game to the suspension, which were to keep Moore off the sideline for next year's opener against Western Michigan. Moore will now miss that game for another season. He previously deleted his entire 52 text message thread on his personal phone with former staffer Connor Stallions, who led the team's sign stealing operation for the program. The texts were later recovered and shared with the NCAA. Biff Poggi, who filled in for Moore when he was suspended earlier this season, will serve as the team's interim head coach. Wow. Wow. Sherrone Moore is out. Again, Penn State just hired Matt Campbell, by the way, too. Uh Instant reaction, stunned. Stunned. Thought he'd get one more year. I thought next year was the year for them to go to the playoff and do some things. Absolutely, absolutely shocked. Uh, Obviously, Michigan no tolerance policy. Yeah, for that. Where does Michigan go for here? Is the question. I've seen Signetti's not leaving. Okay, so that's we can just dead that. If we're talking about realistic candidates here, I think I think I've seen John Gruden. Gruden wants to coach in college. If it ain't the SEC, the Big Ten's right there now. I've heard DeBoer now. Maybe if they get eliminated, he has ties to the Big Ten. DeBoer, Brian Kelly would just burn it down. This is where I think this has a domino effect. If if DeBoer And I say this: if the board leaves for Michigan, if there is a possibility that does happen, the Alabama job now comes open. Who wants that job? You know who does. Kiffin. I'm telling you this right now. If the board goes to Michigan, which would be the head coaches in it, is crazy. If that happens, and then and then Kiffin says, LSU, you gave me all this money. Screw you. I go to Alabama. The amount of vitriol and just absolute, I could only imagine. Yeah, and look, Michigan's going to be looking for a new head coach. You'd have to imagine Bryce Underwood transfers. You'd have to imagine he transfers. Now, where does he transfer to? You'd have to imagine he'd go back to LSU. Kiffin, especially if Kiffin's there. I don't know what to tell. I don't know what to tell you. I'm genuinely stunned. And look, I get it. I just can't believe that, like, that move. I just can't believe it. Like, wow. Sherrone Moore is out. Sherrone Moore's out as the head coach of Michigan. And now you have to ask yourself, if you are the Michigan, well, number one, Sherrone Moore's married, so it that's not good. Number two, you have to ask yourself, who's taking the Michigan job and how will this affect it? Again, I say this: Summerall, Florida. Summerall's at Florida. Golish is at Auburn. Kiffin's at LSU. Matt Campbell just took the Penn State job. Pat Fitzgerald's at Michigan State. In terms of the big names, I don't. If the board gets eliminated first round, I do think that becomes a possibility. But if he doesn't, and even if he loses in the quarterfinals to Indiana, I, what happens there? You know, I am genuinely stunned. I can't believe it. I really don't have much more to say. Apparently, this is only the tip of the iceberg, and it's about to get real messy. Which, oh boy, that's not good. I'm really Sherrone Moore. Yeah, Sherrone Moore's out as the Michigan head football coach. He's done after 2 years. All right, that that's it. I don't really have much more to say on the perspective. Candidates, we'll see. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and thank you for listening to this short instant reaction. See ya.